Welcome to the Shift into What's Next podcast, where embracing change can ignite a world of possibilities. Hey now, I'm your host, Elise Ancel, and around here, we're all about navigating change with honesty, courage, and just enough faith to believe that even the unexpected is working for our good. This is a space to reflect, reset, and lean into what's next together. Today's episode is called Shift Between How and Yes. And maybe you felt that space before, where you're caught between the desire to believe and the need to understand. How is the question that rises when what we're shown doesn't match what we see. It's that hesitation, that moment where logic steps in and says, wait, how is that even possible? Yes, on the other hand, is a response that comes not from knowing all the answers, but from choosing to trust anyway. It's the quiet agreement that says, I may not see it yet, but I'm still believing it's possible. And that's where many of us live, right in the middle of that shift, not quite in full belief, but no longer ruled by doubt either, wrestling, wondering, or wavering. Just like Mary in the Bible, she didn't quite understand what was being asked of her. And of course, her first response was honest. How can this be? But in the very next breath, she surrendered. She trusted the word spoken over her life. She said yes, not because it made sense, not because she had all the answers, but she believed in the one who spoke it. That shift from how to yes is what opens the door to the extraordinary. So let's get into it. I'm recalling a season in my life where all I had were glimpses, visions of something more, something greater, but not a single thing in my reality supported that. I had no resources, no title, no backing, and I found myself asking over and over again, how could this be? This wasn't just a question, it was a cry, a hesitation, a moment of fear mixed with hope. But somewhere along the way, the shift happened, not all at once, not because I had proof, but because I had peace. I stopped trying to figure out how and started leaning into the yes. That's when things began to shift. That's when things began to open. That's when alignment started showing up. And it didn't always make sense, but it was always enough to remind me the shift between how and yes isn't a sign of weakness. It's the space where faith grows. So maybe today you're standing in that same space. You've been shown something that feels just out of reach. And you've been wrestling with the question, how could this be? Let me encourage you. The how is not your responsibility. Your part is to be open, to stay available, to prepare your heart for the yes, even if your mind is still catching up. Sometimes the shift happens when you stop trying to map it all out and simply say, this doesn't make sense to me, but yes anyway. Yes, I'll keep believing. Yes, I'll keep building. Yes, I'll stay ready. Because your yes has the power to move things, not just around you, but inside of you. And sometimes the biggest breakthroughs don't come after you understand. They come after you surrender. So wherever you are today, if you're standing in the middle of how and yes, know that you're not alone. You're in a sacred space of growth. Just like Mary, you may not have all the answers. You may not know the timeline, the steps, or the why, but your willingness to say yes, even in the unknown, still matters. So let the shift happen from questioning to trusting, from hesitation to hope, from how to yes. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, keep leaning in, keep listening, and know this, the promise is still good, even if the process doesn't make sense yet. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and like, share, or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear how your shift is unfolding.